Eight games, 5 conference matchups, and a lot of quality football to be watched in week 4 of the CAA football season. I'm Carly Smith here with the amazing Rob Washburn for another week of 3 things to watch. Our first thing features one of the most highly anticipated matchups of the season. Number 11 New Hampshire travels to the Tub, or Delaware Stadium, to face off against the number 19 ranked Blue Hens for an incredible top 25 showdown. Rob, both teams are coming off of significant week 3 wins, and to make this game even juicier, there's quite a bit of familiarity on both sidelines because of Ryan Carty's coaching stint at UNH. So we know this. Both teams carry a strong culture, tough mentality, and explosive energy that's on display every day. But Rob, what are some of the key weapons on both sides that'll be huge factors in this game?
Yeah, Carly, Ryan Carty was an assistant coach at New Hampshire when Rick Santos was setting records as the Wildcats quarterback, and the two later coached together under the legendary Sean McDonald. Now, while their schemes have evolved over the years, both of these guys are aggressive play callers who like to challenge you all over the field offensively. Now, when your goal is to create explosive plays, it helps to have talented running backs like Dylan Laube and Marcus Yarns. Laube's the nation's leader in all-purpose yards, and he simply can do it all. In Week 1, he scored touchdowns running, receiving, and on a punt return in just 1 quarter. In Week 2, he set a school record with 295 receiving yards, and last week he ran for a team-high 180 yards. The ball will be in his hands as much as possible. Now, for the Blue Hens, Yarns rushed for 107 yards and 2 touchdowns in Week 1, had a 66-yard touchdown run at Penn State, and last week ran for 139 yards and a touchdown. Through 3 games, he's averaging a ridiculous 11.4 yards per carry. Both of these guys have the ability to reach the end zone at any time from any point on the field. So keep your eyes on both of them on Saturday.
Sure will. Let's hear from New Hampshire's Rick Santos and Delaware's Ryan Carty on the Week 4 matchup.
Marcus, he's a complete package. He's strong at the point of attack. I think the one thing is evident, he has really good vision. So he knows when to kind of be patient, wait for his blockers, but then he only needs a little bit of a crease, and he has a home run threat, so he has top end speed, short range quickness, and elusiveness. And then they've always had big, massive, kind of physically imposing offensive linemen. That's kind of been a staple of Delaware over the years, and nothing's changed.
It's going to be a big game because of who's coming in and how good they are, and how well they perform on the road. And then because it's the next one. And so, we'll be ready for that. Is it a rivalry? I mean, I think we'll find out after this one.
As Coach Carty said, is this a rivalry game? I don't know. We'll find out on Saturday. So make sure you tune in. Kickoff is at 6 p.m. on Flow Football. All right, moving on to our second thing to watch. Another firepower conference matchup as number 17 Rhode Island and number 25 Villanova go head-to-head in Philadelphia. The Rams carrying plenty of momentum after an always competitive win at Maine last week, whereas the Wildcats are looking to open up their conference slate with the win. Both teams battle-tested and are capable of creating havoc in various assets of the game, Rob.
Yeah, firepower is a good description for this game because Villanova and Rhode Island have plenty of it. Wildcats quarterback Connor Watkins averages 19 yards per completion, which leads all of FCS, while Rams quarterback Kasim Hill averages 16 yards per completion, which ranks number 6 in FCS. Both of these guys have big arms and a fleet of speedy receivers on the outside who can take the top off the defense at any time. Now for Villanova, it's been Rajon Pringle and Jalen Sanchez, who are both averaging over 28 yards per catch, and they'll be joined this weekend by All-CA standout Jaron Hayek, who's finally healthy and expected to join the group. Now for Rhode Island, receivers Katero Summers, Darius Savage, and Marquise Buchanan all have at least 1 reception of over 60 yards, and each of them has 2 touchdown catches. Big plays will have a significant effect on the outcome of Saturday's game.
Can't wait for it. Now let's hear what Rhode Island's Jim Fleming and Villanova's Mark Ferrante had to say prior to Saturday.
Yeah, I think it really, believe it or not, starts with the run game. I mean, they've got a host of backs that get the run game going, and then they're very creative in terms of how they get those guys sprung free. I mean, there have been some wide open throws and catches to those 2 kids, but they're both very talented. I was really impressed watching tape.
They kind of remind me of us a little bit, the way they fly around and get to the ball. And they have some guys that run the ball well, and they have guys that, are good in the pass game, and they have a quarterback that can do both. So
Kickoff is at 2 p.m. on Flow Football. You don't want to miss out on this one. Okay, Rob, we love a good in-state rivalry game. Our third thing to watch features Elon at Campbell. Obviously, a ton of familiarity between both of these teams, but now stakes are a little higher. It's a conference battle. Last week, Campbell, who's receiving votes in national polls, picked up their first ever CAA victory against Monmouth, and Elon, they're coming in really hot after starting conference play 1-0 with a Week 3 win against North Carolina A&T. Rob, both of these teams seem to continue to just get better each week of play. So what are your thoughts leading up to this one?
Yeah, this should be a fantastic matchup between two teams coming off impressive wins last Saturday. Campbell got 152 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground from Aquari Rogers as they rallied past Monmouth 45-31, while Elon got its own impressive rushing performance from Jalen Hampton with 153 yards on only 16 carries in that 27-3 victory against North Carolina A&T. Now, while those guys deservedly got the attention for posting the big rushing numbers, none of it would be possible without two of the best offensive lines in the CAA. The Camels have 4 grad students and a senior as part of an experienced group up front, and they are big, with all 5 guys tipping the scales at over 315 pounds. Elon has 4 players on the offensive line who combined to start 48 games a year ago, and the group has 116 career starts. Phoenix also has plenty of size, with all 5 starters at 300-plus pounds. And while there's plenty of firepower at the skill positions on both of these teams, the one that's able to control the line of scrimmage on Saturday is likely to come out on top.
Won and lost in the trenches, right, Rob? Hear from Elon's Tony Trigiani and Campbell's Mike Minter on Saturday's matchup.
Yeah, they're big. Fortunately, we played Wake Forest and they were big. And so we've seen some big guys, but I think both of their tackles really, McClellan and Edwards, I mean, they're both big guys. They can move people.
Because at the end of the day, man, your X's and O's don't mean nothing if you don't have guys that can make it happen. And we definitely have that. And so that's why the offense is doing what they do. And we're going to continue to do that.
I love what Coach Minter told us. X's and O's, yeah, they don't mean a thing if you don't have the guys to make it happen, but it's clear both teams have the guys to make stuff happen. Kickoff is at 6 p.m. from Bowie's Creek, North Carolina on Flow Football. Now, in addition to these 3 matchups, Richmond and Stony Brook go head-to-head on Long Island. Maine and William and Mary kick off in Williamsburg, both of these being excellent league games. And UAlbany, Towson, and Monmouth all face non-conference opponents. As always, for all CAA football coverage throughout the week, visit CAAfootball.com and at CAA Football on social media. Good luck to all the guys competing this weekend. It's going to be a good one.